So we've finished logging into the computer here for the first time. Your system may prompt you whether the network you're connecting to is a private or a public network. If you're at Starbucks or another public location, choose public. If you are at home or at your office or your small business office, go ahead and choose private. Anywhere you want to be able to access file shares, network printers, etc., it's important to choose that private network setting option. And usually it'll be a menu or a option panel that pops up here on the right hand side the first time you connect to a network that your computer doesn't recognize. So the first thing we're going to do here is we're going to pull up Microsoft Edge. And of course this assumes that we actually are connected to the internet. So you can see in the lower right here that my computer is connected to the network because it has this little computer screen with a little network cable and plug next to it. If you're on a laptop and you're on the wireless, you'll see little radio waves, and you may have been asked during the initial setup process to join a Wi-Fi network. If you aren't currently connected to the internet, you need to be connected to the internet to follow these steps. So either physically plug your computer in with a hardwire if you're on a laptop, and of course if you're on a desktop this assumes you're using a hardwire of some kind, or if you're on the Wi-Fi, you would click on the little Wi-Fi symbol down here and you'd see a list of wireless networks here in this pane that you could connect to. Since this is a computer that does not have a wireless adapter, you don't see any wireless networks available, and it just has the one network that this computer is physically connected to. So now that we're on the internet, we're going to go and pull up Microsoft Edge, which is the built-in browser in Windows 10. It's actually pretty fast and not difficult to use. It's pretty straightforward, but it has, I would say, compatibility issues that Internet Explorer and Chrome and Firefox have had a chance to iron out over the time. Microsoft Edge is so new that it may not work with certain websites, especially like online banking websites that require check deposits or any other sort of interactions with devices on your computer. So I prefer to use other browsers aside from Microsoft Edge, and we're going to go and grab some of those right now. So if we go up into the address bar along the top here in Microsoft Edge, we're going to go to www.ninite.com. That's ninite.com. We've typed the whole thing out. We're going to hit enter, and that will guarantee that we actually go to the website itself rather than doing an internet search. You can see there's this globe icon. That means we're going to go right to the website. If we choose this second option, it's going to do a search on Bing. We don't want that because we know we're going to go to the direct website. We're going to click on that or hit enter on the keyboard. So this is a great website. I've known about it for probably about a decade here. And basically, it has a lot of really common and trusted applications, and you're able to go through and just check the box next to any application you want to install. I like to grab Chrome and Firefox because it's good to have two fast, secure, nice browsers as alternatives or primaries aside from Windows. Microsoft Security Essentials is a pretty solid antivirus program. It's free, it's lightweight, it does a decent job of protecting your machine. You actually don't need it in Windows 10 because its predecessor, or I guess offspring or successor, is called Windows Defender, and it's actually built into the operating system. So we can skip that. If you want Skype or Thunderbird or Trillian, any of these messaging apps, you can grab those. If they're not familiar to you, skip them. Same with Dropbox, Google Drive, and all that stuff. OneDrive is actually built into Windows 8 and 10, so you don't need to download that separately. I would recommend under the Media section here to grab K-Lite Codecs, because that will install Windows Media Player Classic on your computer, as well as the codecs or pieces of software that your machine needs to play a lot of really common video files that you might encounter while you're using the internet. If you use iTunes and you don't have it installed already, or it was not carried over by your upgrade, go ahead and grab it here. But if you did an upgrade from Windows 7 or Windows 8 to Windows 10, almost all your programs, or all of them, should be intact still. It might be a matter of just updating iTunes, from within iTunes itself. I like to use Notepad++ because it's an editor for text files that's oriented more towards programming, but we're not going to install that because for normal users it's not something you're going to find extremely useful. Installing Java and .NET, Silverlight, Air, and Shockwave are fairly optional. Java, if you install it, is going to nag you about doing updates pretty regularly. Silverlight is essential for watching Netflix, regardless of your browser there. Adobe Air is a product that allows you to work with a lot of websites that are pretty interactive, especially if there's like web apps that you run that rely on this Adobe Air platform. But if you encounter one of those, you can always install Air later. Shockwave is used for a lot of interactive websites as well, so I typically will check that box. So I'll grab Silverlight and Shockwave. On my own machine, I install all of these because I utilize all of them. Your mileage may vary, obviously. For compression, I use 7-Zip or WinRAR because I'm familiar with both of those tools, and they are really powerful. pzip is more user-friendly, so if you're not familiar with either 7-Zip or WinRAR already, pzip is a great tool for working with zip files and either creating them or opening them if somebody emails you, a number of files all attached as a zip file. That's a good way to, open up that file and work with it. And then another one of my favorite applications here is GreenShot. This is a great tool that replaces the built-in screenshot tool in Windows. Basically what happens is if you hit the print screen key on your keyboard, you can then click and drag and select the whole area on the screen that you want to take a picture of. And once you've done that, it'll ask you if you want to save it to the clipboard, open in an image editor. It makes it very easy to take a picture of something on your screen or the whole screen and send that to somebody either in an email or a Word document, or you can make like a manual or a tutorial with pictures of your screen if you're going through and using GreenShot to capture that. It's a great tool. And then Paint.net I like as an image editor. It's not as fast to open up documents and things, and it does require .NET 4.5 there. But it is a pretty powerful editor for working with images. It's pretty straightforward. It's like Paint, but with more tools and more capabilities. So, I can install that, and I can also install GreenShot here. Faststone, XNView, IRFanView, those are great for going through and viewing a bunch of images, but by no means are they necessary. So I also like to install TeamViewer, which is a remote support tool that we use. Either we provide it to our clients that are business clients, and we have it already installed on their machines as part of our remote tools package, but we also have residential clients that want to have it on their machine to be able to call us and have us help them out with our paid version of TeamViewer that we have through our remote system. So the other key item here is Classic Start. This is what makes Windows 10's Start menu look a lot more like Windows 7 and operate a lot more like Windows 7. And this is also the tool that you would install on Windows 8 to get rid of the Start screen that a lot of people find so disruptive to their normal use of the computer. So we definitely want to grab Classic Start. If we're on Windows 10, I would say it's recommended. If you're on Windows 8, I would say it's mandatory. And then under Documents here, we can grab a PDF reader. This is a lot lighter and faster. Sumatra PDF is a lot more straightforward and simple for just opening up PDFs and reading them. You don't have to deal with Adobe. You don't have to go and download updates continuously for Adobe Reader. This is a very simple program, very clean in terms of just opening up and reading PDF files that you may encounter on the internet or that people may send you by email. QPDF is a very simple tool that lets you basically turn anything you can print into a PDF. It creates a fake printer on your computer, and if you send a document or a picture or whatever to that fake printer, it will turn it into a PDF that will look just like if you had physically printed the document on paper. So it'll convert whatever you are trying to print into a PDF. And it's a really great tool. I used to prefer PDF Creator, and I still do for my own use, but PDF Creator takes a bit of setup, and it's not quite as user-friendly for folks. So we've got all of our recommended tools here checked. Oh, there's one more. Malwarebytes Anti-Malware is a great, just general purpose, use it when you need it anti-malware tool. If you want to bump up to another antivirus program, a good recommended one is Avira. They are less shall we say, pushy about having you pay for the software than Avast or AVG are. We used to really recommend both of these two, but they got really naggy about trying to get you to pay for the business or the more robust personal version, which I'm not opposed to. It's just if people aren't having us install our antivirus software on their machine that comes with a package with our remote tools, typically they're looking for some sort of free product, and Avira is a great one. It seems to be less insistent about trying to sell you the more premium package than the others are. So that's just been our experience and our clients' experiences across our client base. So, Alright, well we've got all of our recommended tools here and recommended software programs for this particular machine, and that should work well for everybody else. At the bottom of the page here, there's a big blue button. Click on it, and that will take you to the new page where it'll begin the download automatically. You'll notice it comes up along the bottom here. It's already finished downloading because I have a pretty fast internet connection. I'm going to go ahead and click on Run, and that's going to execute here. It may ask for administrator permissions, which it just did. We're going to go ahead and click Yes. And then it's going to go, and you can see the details here. It actually goes through and downloads and installs every application that we checked a box next to, and it does that without any additional work on your part. This tool has saved me so much time. We actually pay for licenses for the business version. We get Ninite Pro that allows us to keep our machines and a lot of our client computers up to date just automatically, because basically if you run this tool again after you've done this initial process of getting all these applications installed, it'll go and update them, which is really cool. So if you save your Ninite download and run it again, in a few weeks or a couple months, it will go and instead of installing these applications again, it will update them to the most recent version. So I'm going to go ahead and pause this recording here while we wait for all of these things to install.